Ooh, maybe I should what you might call it?
There we go.
Visualize myself. What's going on, everybody? What is going on? I always try to do too much and then I screw it up. But very happy to be here. Very happy to be here. Very excited to be here. Listen, we know there's the NFL draft tonight. We know there's the Knicks playoffs tonight. Trust me, we're both watching it in the background as we're doing the show. But we also know there's a lot of Mets fans that are looking for Mets content today that are missing our New York Mets today. I know I missed the Mets. Yeah, I'm having fun watching the Knicks game, especially because they're winning. But I still miss my Mets, and especially when the team is on the roll, right? When the team is on the roll, you want to see them play every day. And I know Eddie feels the same way. And let's say hello to my guy Eddie. Eddie, how's going on, brother?
What's up, Heck? Yeah, man. Like you said, I miss the Mets playing, man. I'm used to them playing, and every game I'm watching, it's just been such a good game. The Mets are finding a million different ways to win, and it's just exciting right now. It's really exciting. So, love what can't you say, man? Right now, everything is good right now in Mets land.
Everything is good in Metsland is correct, Eddie. And like you said, they're finding ways to win, and that's what we want, right? Isn't that what you always want out of your team? Of course, you want to blow teams out, you want to dominate, you want to do all these things. But at the end of the day, you just want to find a way to win, because winning is what's of utmost importance, right? But not everything is quite great in Metsland because you know how we are as fans, and especially as Met fans, we always find something to gripe about. And it's funny the things that we find to gripe about sometimes, right? Because the thing that we're griping about right now, and I told you real quick before we went on, as we just got on before we even started, I started this. What the hell is it? Because I wanted to bring it up. And it's the fact that Jeff McNeil and Francisco Alvarez will be joining the fold. They are being called up. They're being added to the 26-man roster to join the team tomorrow. There were actually some comments by Carlos Mendoza earlier today that alluded to this and then alluded to them being in the lineup right away tomorrow, which was a little eye opening to me. But this means somebody has to go down, and we know Hayden Sanger was going down. That was no brainer, and Hayden Sanger's done well for himself. I just read something before I came that is something that I've been talking about, how Hayden Sanger has now made it so that there's probably going to be other teams calling the Mets about, hey,
Yeah,
how about Hayden Sanger? And I just saw something like that alludes to that, but I didn't even get to read it. But the other guy is someone who's been a hot topic, someone who we've talked about a lot. You already know who it is, our guy Brett Beatty, which I guess you could be a little surprised because they both been starting to play well, and we all assumed that Ahsoka, he's here right now because in the outfield that once McNeil comes, he can fill it in the outfield. They've flirted with the idea of throwing Acuna in the field, whatever. But when you really look at it, and the fact that Ahsoka doesn't have options, it kind of makes sense that Brett Beatty is the guy to go down. What are your thoughts on that, Eddie?
I mean, I have to admit, I was a little shocked that he got sent down, especially after the big home run up a Wheeler yesterday. Started and really looked like he was coming around a little bit, but I do get it. Like you said, Azokar, however you say his name is, he didn't have any options. So, it becomes a matter of who has options and who doesn't. Beatty has options. So naturally, he was going to get sent down. I would have liked to see him to purposely. I'm being honest. I would have liked to see him stay here because I felt like he was starting to turn the corner, especially after that home run. And I know, he hasn't been lighting it up, but I do feel like he's made progress. So, but I also understand that McNeil's coming up and Alvy's coming up. So I understand it from a Mets perspective. I don't think it will be too far until we see Beatty again. I think he'll be here probably soon enough. I don't think it will be that long.
Right, and let's just listen. Usually these things take care of themselves. Usually, and so I forget who I was listening to today that said, "Listen, Beatty will be back." It might have been an SNY, but I didn't. I think it might have been Jim Duquette. But he said, there'll be an injury and he'll be back up. It's kind of harsh, but that's the reality, right? These things happen. People get hurt, whether it be major, minor, whatever the case may be, and he may find his way up. But at the end of the day, I think he might have accomplished what we wanted him to accomplish, Eddie, and it's kind of built some trade value. because it's the same
Yeah.
article that I saw that popped up that mentioned that with when it pertained to Senger, it was about Senger and Beatty both going down, but it said something about both have caught the eyes of other teams. You know what I'm saying? So at
Yeah.
least, and that was the objective. Brett Beatty's gonna have an opportunity to make this team. Let's see if we could turn this into becoming a viable trade option for us. Because before that, there really wasn't much value to him, unless the team was gonna say, you know what, we know he can be a good player, change the scenery, whatever. We'll take a chance. And still, what were you gonna get for that? But now that he's shown that, listen, he can hit. He hit that bomb yesterday.
Oh, for
He's
Wheeler too.
around.
Did he bump?
Right, and now he's shown some versatility in that he can play second and third base. So
Yeah.
that helps him out a lot too. So it stinks. You hate to see it, but I think we all kind of had to see it coming, and we were talking about that was going to be the case when we thought it was going to be him or Acuna. We felt like he should be the odd man out, and
He was.
especially with McNeil being the left-handed batter too, right? So there's no room for both of them on the squad, in my opinion.
Well, look, man. Again, I don't think it's going to be too long till we see him back up here. I like that he was turning the corner, like I said. I like the versatility that he showed. Has he been as good as Acuna? Absolutely not. But he was starting to turn it a little bit. And I do like the fact that he could play two positions. Now let's see what McNeil could do. Because McNeil's been shown to have been struggling in the first half the last couple of seasons. So if McNeil struggles, I wouldn't be surprised to see, Beatty back up here. Or like you said, an injury occurs. Beatty's going to be the first guy up. So let's see what happens. We got the best record in baseball. We lead all major league teams in baseball. We have the best home record in baseball. So right now, everything in Mets land is looking good. And that's just the way it is. And I have a graphic for us.
Yeah, but I forgot that maybe I should add us on the screen first, right? And then we add the graphic. I apologize for that. But since you started talking about the record, I said, why not bring it up? I apologize,
Yeah.
guys.
National League East. This isn't even made. We have the best record in Major League Baseball.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
We're one up on the Padres, I believe.
Yes. And I'm not sure. I don't know if the Padres played today or not.
I didn't see them.
I don't think there are that many games today. I don't think there are that many games.
No, there was a handful.
I'm not sure. Yeah. But no, yeah. And listen to what you're saying. Let's see here. Did you say we're 12-1 at home, which is the best?
12-1 at home. Us and the Padres tied for the best two home records in baseball.
Oh, are they also 12-1 at home?
Yeah, they're 12-1 at home.
Okay, wow, good for them. I do know that we were, and I think that's our best start at home in our history or whatever. So, yep.
Listen, man. Again,
7-game win streak. 7-game win streak, sweep of a homestand. I'm sorry. Just wanted to throw those tidbits in there as well. Since we were running them down. I don't know if you did. I kind of lost you there.
Right. I was just saying, look at, like you said, 7 games in a row, beat Philly, our arch rival, knocked them 3 games behind us in one series. Okay, so I don't know if it's more than that. What I'm just saying, we picked up 3 games on them, and now
I think we pushed them 5 games back. Right? Yeah, here it is.
Picked up 3 games on them. So now we go into Washington. Washington isn't exactly world beaters, but they're a divisional rival, so they're not just going to roll over. They got a couple of guys that can pitch on that squad. So I'm curious to see what happens. But let's just continue to win series, Hector. I tell you this every time we go up here. Win series, and I'm happy. I mean, we're getting sweeps, though. It's even better than that. So
listen, we'll take it. We'll take it. Like I said, you want to win series, right? But especially when you win the first 2 games, then you're definitely thinking sweep. And you said we're getting the sweeps, and we're not going to give them back. We'll take them because we know, listen, there's going to be a time that we're going to struggle a little bit. But what you hope is that we're good enough right now that struggle is maybe, I don't know. Have we? I can't remember. We still haven't lost 2 games in a row, have we?
We've lost 2 games.
Did. Yeah, we did to the Twins.
That's our biggest losing streak is 2. Right. I believe it was Was it the first
To the Twins,
series?
to the Twins, to the no, to the Twins,
The Twins. Still, we lost the
to the
last two
Twins.
of the Twins. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
to the Twins. So and that's what you want to hope that when you do go through a little slump or whatever, it's something like that. You lose 2 games, maybe three, and you turn it right back around.
Yeah.
Now that you're losing 5, 6 games in a row and having a hard time finding your place or anything like that. But
Well,
yeah, man. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to ask you. You think we're going to come down to earth a little bit?
You you almost feel like you have to say yes, but what's come down to earth? Listen, we all thought this was going to be a mid-90 or better win team, right? In order to
Yeah, I
do
said at
that,
the beginning of the year, I said 95 plus. I'm at the point now. I think it's 100 plus.
okay, I said 94. So how much coming down to earth are you going to do if you're going to win that many games anyways? You understand what I'm saying? So again,
Right.
yeah, they may go through a little bit of a. I think even Steve Cohen put up a tweet. I forgot the word that he used. Uh, uh, he didn't say recession. He said something, but it was. I know it was probably some market talk, and he was trying to talk about maybe about the market balancing itself. But he used the
Right.
word. I wish I could think of it, and I know I'm not going to find it now. But I'm sure there will be some of that. Again, you just hope that it's not, you know, boom. That is just
Yeah.
just one of those small dips, and you come right back up, or you level out. So maybe you're not winning back-to-back series, but you win a series, you lose one, you win another one, you lose one, or you're not sweeping series the way that we are. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
just a leveling out, but nothing that is gonna derail us
Look,
or anything
man.
like that.
Look. Just go out and win series, bro. Seriously, you're not going to take three every time. Go out, win series,
No,
play
no, of
good
course.
ball, keep us in games, and you go for it when you can. And that's what
Yeah,
we've been doing. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? The
But
pitching's
it's
been
just that
keeping
I'm
us
just
in
trying
the
to
game.
answer your question of whether I think they're gonna come back down to earth, which I guess the answer is no. And also because look at what we're having right now. Look at how well we've been playing. And now we get what was supposed to be our starting catcher. What was supposed to be our starting catcher, and we're gonna talk about, which we can talk about right now, which we've talked about many times already, is how is his playing time gonna be divvied up? Because a lot of us feel like, hey, Luis Torrens has earned himself a right to play. You know what I'm saying? More
I
than
feel like he's earned the right to start, Hector.
yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
he's earned that right.
No, listen, he has, and it's tough, right? Because of what we expect Alvarez to be, what we think he is, and if he can be that, then he would be better than Torrens. But the truth is, he hasn't been that yet. It really hasn't been that yet, and Torrens has done everything in his power to make a claim for playing time. So we'll see
Uh,
how it's gonna be handled. I saw some comments from Mendoza today. I'm trying to look for it now so I can bring it up where he said, these guys are gonna go be here tomorrow and be in the starting lineup. And I was like, ooh, okay. In the starting lineup right away. Ow. But we'll see. That it doesn't mean that Torres immediately goes to backup time either. And we know Mendoza is very good about this stuff.
right. He's good at getting everybody involved. That's what I love about him, to be honest. He's not set in his ways or anything. He rides a hot hand. He's a very smart manager. I have very little bit to complain about him. Very little.
Yep. And then listen, I would think that Jeff McNeil is also gonna step in there and be the starter. While at the same time, I'm also confident that Acuna will continue to get playing time. You
He's
understand what I'm
another
saying?
guy who's earned it.
No, he's definitely earned it, but he'll continue to get the playing time because again, Carlos Mendoza is good about getting these guys involved, whether it's you start or he gets you in there as a pinch hitter,
Pinch
whatever the
runner,
case may be. Yeah, pinch
defense.
runner. Yes, exactly. Which is another reason why
Beatty
Acuna
had to
was
go.
able to, yeah, Acuna was able to make it instead of Beatty because Acuna provides that stolen base factor, pinch running factor that Beatty's just not gonna give you. How about we check in on the people, Eddie? We got a ton of people here
Yeah,
who are with us.
yeah.
So how
Shout
about
out to
we
the
check in
chat.
on them? Um, I hate when this thing does this.
Nick's up
But
71-69, just if you guys are watching.
next up 7169 is correct. As I think we just answered that question. Cindy says, "How about the Mets?" This was early on, guys. I like to go a little bit to the beginning just to say hello, and definitely listen to what my homie Cindy says here. Hit those like buttons, smash that subscribe button for my YouTube, help me out, and all that
Hit
good
the
stuff. Let me go back
retweet, hit
here
the
real quick.
likes, hit it all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Heck, Cindy says, "Heck, I saw you on this and on TV
This is no
yesterday."
picture, by the way.
Yeah. Well, it was more than a picture. The picture went around, but I was actually up there for quite a while. I'm like, damn, take the camera off of my ass. After I
You
went
were
back and watched it, like
concerned, huh?
I didn't know at the moment that was going on until my phone
Why don't
started
you tell
buzzing.
us about the moment? What was that moment that was going on for the fans that don't know?
What was that moment that was going on? It was first and
Yeah.
second.
What time of the game was that? What was
It was
happening?
first and second, 2 outs, 2-2 count of Kepler.
Okay.
Um, Tie ball game. Was it a tie ball game already? Or we were down one. I kind of forget, but the game was getting ready to unravel, brother. The game was getting ready to unravel, and the whole time, I shout out to the homie Patty. I was there with Patty, and we had already been talking about okay, who's available, who's not available. Wait a minute, they may not be too many guys available, and then there's always the Edwin Diaz factor. I know you love Sugar, Patty. I know you love Sugar. Shout out to Patty again. I love Patty, but her and I go at it over Sugar a little bit. She loves Sugar. She doesn't want to hear
No,
anything about
thank you
Sugar.
on sugar.
But I was nervous about Sugar. You know what I'm
Same.
saying? So I'm nervous about all this thing. Damn, Beatty's gonna about to blow this game. I mean, Buto's about to blow this game. What the hell? At the same time, you feel confident. It's another thing right now. It's great to be a Met fan because you feel confident that this team could always pull it off. But damn it, we're in the eighth. So that's basically all of this is going through my mind. Wow, like, yo, let's get this out, Buto. Let's go. And we saw what happened. I think it was the next pitch. Boom. Base hit to right field. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. We're on the first base side. The sun is beaming. It's kind of hard to see. At first,
No.
I thought Acuna caught the ball. So I'm like, yeah. And then I see, wait a minute. What's that little white thing still rolling out to Soto? He's running real hard trying to get this, and everybody's still
Yeah.
running. What the hell's going on? And of course, the play at the plate, which I got to be honest, and I'm still not convinced. Naked eye at the stadium, I said, ooh, he's safe. They're going to replay this and he's going to be safe. And is that the play that they couldn't replay or something? I think they asked for it
I
too
don't think he
late.
had a challenge left, I believe.
Well, I think he asked for it too late, I think it was, or something like that. But whatever the case may be, they weren't able to challenge. Safe, boom. And we already know what happened. But yeah, that's what was going through my mind. Yeah, there was a little bit of concern, a little bit of manage along, I guess, in my head. And
Yeah,
at
exactly.
the same time, like, yo, don't blow this. Like, hopefully these niggas don't blow this. You know what I'm saying? All of that is going through my mind there. And believe me, I was all over the place telling the crowd to stand up, let's go Mets, all that good
Yeah,
stuff.
I can see.
SNY just at that moment happened to catch me where I'm just like, holy shit. or whatever the hell it was. Something like, okay, is this really going to happen here? You know what I mean? I think they had just hit a foul ball or something like that. But back to the comments real quick. As Carlos says, we're having a great day and happy about our Mets, but I'm frustrated. Beatty being sent down is not good because it means McNeil is going to be in the everyday lineup at second base. Acuna's way better than him. I mean, come on.
I mean, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, but we also can't, like, I could be wrong, but Carlos was one of the guys that was adamant about Acuna over Beatty,
Yeah.
and Beatty had to go down, and Beatty had to go down. Well, now Beatty's gone down. Like, you knew this was going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Again,
So,
it depends on which McNeil shows up. If the guy from a couple of years shows up that could win a batting title, this is not even going to be a discussion. But if the guy from, first half of last year shows up, the guy that gets outs and, is a singles hitter at best, then we're gonna have a different conversation, Hector. I think that's
No,
what
for
it really
sure.
comes down to.
And I was gonna say, Carlos, not that I'm picking on you, but these are the comments that have come up first. At the same time, Carlos was the same guy that was adamant that Pete Alonso couldn't be part of this team. That if we really wanted to win, Pete Alonso couldn't be part of the New York Mets. And now he himself will tell you that he was wrong. We're feeling good, Stanley, and good to see you. We're feeling great, man. We're feeling pretty damn good. Junior, how you doing, brother? How you doing, man?
Shout out
As
to the
Junior
chat
says,
again.
yes, we're feeling good. We're feeling good. We're feeling good. How you feel about the series, Eddie? There were questions about the Mets haven't been challenged yet. The Mets are beating easy teams, and all of the excuses, all of the nonsense that people like to make when a team is doing well. We're guilty of that sometimes as Met fans. We try to devalue what the hell the other teams are doing because our team is not doing so good. So I'm not a hypocrite about it. I don't really get into that nonsense. But when I see people try to devalue us, I just laugh and say, you know what? Keep handling our damn business. So everybody was talking about how the Philadelphia Phillies were coming into town and they were going to be the first challenge for the New York Mets. Well, you tell them, Eddie, how we handled that challenge.
I mean, we went out and kicked the Phillies' ass. They threw out their best at us, and we had an answer for every single thing they did. Every single thing they did, we had an answer for. Oh, you got Bryce Harper coming up? Okay, boom. We're going to throw this at you and get you out. Danny Young, I think, had a big out, right? Was Danny Young that struck him out? Was that
Danny Young came in and struck out Schwarber and Harper yesterday
and
back to
Harper?
back.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. We came out. Okay, you're going to throw this at us? We're throwing this at you. And guess what? We're getting you out. So, yeah, you were in first place last year. But now this is this year. This is our year. We got new players. And you don't really. You brought in some new faces, but for the most part, it's the same faces. We got new faces, and we got guys that are producing. So, guess what? We just beat you 3 in a row. There's that.
No, and listen, man, we're like freaking owning these guys, man. Let's see how what the hell? Let's see if I can make this big. As it has the House of Horrors for the Phillies. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you guys. Don't mind me. There we go.
There we go.
I think that's a little bit better, right? As we're borrowing this from SNY, X, Twitter, or whatever, we like to give credit where credit is due. We're one of those bottoms.
7-20 record.
Yes, there it is. Phillies have lost seven games and 8 of last 9 at Citi Field.
Good.
Incredible. Including the postseason. 7-20 record at Citi Field since 2022, including postseason. 59 and 80 all-time record at Citi Field.
Yeah, that's a big difference from when at Shea Stadium they used to come at the end of our seasons and fucking wreck us in 2007 and 2008. Yeah.
Yep.
Big difference.
Shit, and even in recent past, like I want to say before 15 and all that when we started, and then still when we kind of like hit a little 17, 18 and all that good stuff, they kind of was kicking our butts again. But obviously now in the real recent past and in the overall history of Citi Field, yeah, we definitely dominate them, and it's a house of horrors. And you see there, I don't really see it much, but you see it shared all the time. Their pre and post game losing their mind, their broadcasters losing their mind, and it's fun, man. It's fun to watch, and it's fun to be a part of. It's fun to have been at all 3 games and watch those games. And listen, shout out to the fans, bro. Shout out to the fans.
A lot of fans in the seats.
Eddie, afternoon 1:00 game, which I think they said 38,000.
That's good. That's usually a game of like 15,000 people. Tops.
Right. I could be wrong, but and obviously, I think it's been over 30,000 every single game.
Yeah.
At least 30,000. That is amazing. That is not something that you see
during the week.
Huh?
This is
Not
during the
just
week.
this week, not just this week. The entire all their games, I think,
Right,
have
right,
been
right,
over
right.
30,000.
No,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like usually during the week, those school night games,
Oh,
those
I'm
big,
sorry. Yes, during the week.
there's nobody there. And
Right.
now it's a different story. We have a finally have a real home court advantage, and that's nice to see, man. Because it hasn't always been like that. Our fans haven't showed up. I think now, though, I think the fans, like myself, are starting to really believe in this, and we're seeing the change. And it's and not just Juan Soto shit. It's we're seeing it. We're seeing that the foundation's been is laid. The foundation, the building blocks are all there, and we're starting now to build up slowly but surely. And we're
Absolutely.
a good team.
Absolutely. We're a good organization.
Exactly.
we're
Organization
we're
is a word.
yeah, we're a good organization. You actually made me think about something that one of my buddies said in one of my group chats. There was a post on X that got into more about how they've done well in drafting and obviously in the trades because of Steve Cohen's money and all of that stuff. Where now we're at a point where we have all of these things coming into place all at the same time. And they talk about how it's so hard to have your international free agents, your high school drafts, and your guys you draft from college or whatever. Like, there's different ways to get players. You understand what I'm saying? Guys that you trade for, your domestic draft, and your international free agents and all that good stuff. And it's so hard to get them all to come be ready like at the same
Right,
time.
right, right,
You know
right,
what I'm
right.
saying? And the Mets, you can argue that kind of like have all of this happening. They have right now. You see some of it where you have a Brett Beatty, you have a Luis Angel Acuna, you have a Mark Vientos, you have all of these guys that are ready, while you also have other guys that are ready to come up, and the Jet Williams soon. You know what I'm saying? The Jet Williams, the Drew Gilberts, the Ryan Langford. All of these things are happening. Boom, and then you have all the pitchers that are all seen to be ready to come up, which lends credence to the reason why they haven't want to go out and go crazy with these free agents. Because it's like, why are we going to do this? And they've said this, and I've quoted them saying this, and this person again, and I'm just loosely quoting them. I think I may have it here, but I can't find it right now. Talked about how why go out there and spend money on something where you can get it from within at
Right.
such lesser value. And it sounds cheap and it sounds like, oh, you don't want to take any risk or whatever. But no, it's smart also.
Yeah.
And it also depends on how much you believe in what you have. And they obviously believe in what they have and their processes and all of that good stuff. And you're too distracted by that damn nick game. You might have to turn that shit off.
No, no, no. Look, man. I have it going on, but
I know. I see you looking at it. That's what I'm saying. You're too
what?
distracted
No,
by
no.
that.
I'm listening to everything you're saying because what the Mets are doing is they're building this foundation, but they're also building ways to offset injuries, offset bringing in all these different things. Listen, starting pitching costs a ton of fucking money, man. Even starting positional players, we know they cost a ton of money. By having a good farm system, you're building that from the ground up. And when you have guys you could plug in, bro, that is like having gold, man. All these guys on good, guys that you build, bro. It's just a great thing to have. And we haven't had this in years past. Think about the DeGrom days. DeGrom would get hurt, and I think we mentioned this on the last show. DeGrom would get hurt, and you'd bring up some scrub, some guy. I mean, how many guys that we would have, like the Jonathan Lucchese's of the world? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Would
he,
have
he
that
was
guy.
good. He was
He was
good.
okay. He
He
was
was good for
okay.
us.
Okay, but it's a different level now, Hector. It's
No,
a
no,
different
I mean it
level.
is.
It's not.
This is listen. I always said we wanted to be that team that was able to bring guys in, and instead of those guys underperforming, underachieving, or whatever the hell you wanted to be that team that brought guys in and they overperformed. We were
Right.
always watching teams like Atlanta, the Rays, the Yankees, whoever bring guys
Milwaukee.
in, whoever, yeah, all these good organizations, and those guys would overperform. And then the Mets bring guys that you don't need to over just be you, and they would underperform. You know, these other teams will sign no names, and next thing you know, who the hell is this? Where did he come from?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
how did this guy revive his career with X team? And I've
Look at
always wanted to
Torrens,
be that
for
team.
example.
Right. I
Torrens.
always wanted to be that team, and now we're that team that we found a guy like Terens. You know what I'm saying? We were able to bring up a guy like Hayden Senger and get something out of him. We did what we did last year with the pitching, and we're doing it
Griffin
again this
Cannon
year.
is another guy.
Yeah, we're doing it again this year. You
Hey,
know?
look again, Hector. I have very little complaints about this team. I have nothing really. Again, my biggest concerns are Diaz, Budo to an extent, but he's okay. I'm okay with him now. I think he was a little inconsistent, but you know, just man, if Diaz is okay, I think we're okay. Diaz is really my biggest concern because I don't trust him. And I think you're with me on this a little bit too. You might be a little bit more sold on him, but
I don't
I'm a
know. I'm
little iffy
sold. I
on
mean,
Diaz.
I told you yesterday. I call it the Edwin Diaz experience, and
Right.
I'm not particularly fond of it. I don't look forward to it. I really
No.
don't. I put in the little thing that I posted on X to kind of, let's say, promote the show, where I said Edwin Diaz, a leg shorter than the other, or a lack of
Right.
confidence. But let's
What do
listen
you
to
think
Ed.
it is?
Let's listen to Edwin Diaz real quick for a second. Let's
Okay.
listen to Edwin Diaz real quick for a second, because this right here was like, huh, huh?
Yesterday, my bow leg was like one was longer than the other one. So we worked on that yesterday. I don't know if that was a problem. Just first time that happened to me too, and we fixed it yesterday. And maybe I was like that before, and today show it up.
So yesterday, one leg felt longer than the other. How did that feel and happen?
I don't know. I was working with the trainer to get ready for the game, so I was watching my legs and was feeling I was showing the right one longer than the left one. So I told him that's normal. He said no, so he fixed my hips right away.
Did he tell you what could be causing that? Like, why
Mm,
that is?
no, I don't know. I didn't ask. He just did it, and I was feeling better after. So
Could it have been like the muscle massaging that caused the cramp today? Or
I don't know. I don't know. So that's I don't can't say anything about that because I don't know. Yesterday,
What the fuck is he talking about, man? One leg being shorter than the other. What? I don't know, Hector. You tell me. What am I missing there?
Eddie, listen, I don't know, bro. This to me, and I've been saying this for a while. For whatever reason, Edwin Diaz has no confidence right now.
No.
Maybe it's the velocity in his head. Maybe he misses
Could
the
be.
velocity. Maybe I don't freaking know. I don't know. I did say one thing. I remember saying this in our preseason, whatever the hell show, right?
No.
Season in a season preview. Because we talked about Francisco Alvarez going to be out. And I said, listen, I'm not worried about Francisco Alvarez going to be out as far as having the catcher and the production. And because I like Luis Torrens, I believe in Luis Torrens. That's been played out. Another thing I said, though, the only reason, the only thing that worries me about Alvarez being out is
Still.
Edwin Diaz.
Right. I remember. I remember.
Because for whatever reason, Alvi has a way of, yo, deja la mierda, let's go. Deja la mierda, let's go. My Spanish people know. Cut the bullshit, let's go. Alvi has that with him. You hear Diaz talk about, and it's not like Diaz never been successful without Alvi, but in the recent past, his best success has been with Alvi. We saw last season where there were games where Alvi wouldn't start, and they would bring him in the ninth inning to catch Edwin Diaz when they were going to bring Edwin Diaz to close in the game because of how that relationship developed. And Edwin Diaz said, I just throw whatever Alvi said, whatever Alvi put down, I just go. Whatever Alvi
Right.
told me, I just go. So Terrence is great. I love Terrence. And he may be calling just as good as Alvi, but maybe he doesn't have the cojones or just the attitude to be like, oh yeah, let's go. Cut the bullshit. Wake up. Snap out of it,
No,
Alvin. I mean,
I,
Diaz.
I,
So good.
I, I think it's the velocity, Hector. I really do. I mean, this is a guy that was hitting 102 like that. It was like it was nothing to him, right? So now you see him fucking 97, 98, whatever he's hitting, and the control's not there every game. I mean, that 3-run homer in the first, I mean, he gave up a 3-run homer that we almost fucking blew that game in game 1 versus the Phillies.
Yeah.
Let's not forget about that.
No.
He almost blew that game. So he's been pitching, but he's been, in my opinion, getting very lucky. I worry when that turns around. I worry.
So you think his problem is more velocity than confidence?
I think for self-confidence, it's velocity. There's something to it. He's not been the same guy since he got hurt in that WBC. He hasn't.
Right.
I'm being real.
But he was able to pitch better last year. After he kind of figured it out, he went through all this bullshit. He made stuff up. This thing that he made up yesterday, this is made up crap.
This bullshit.
You know what I'm saying? I had one leg longer.
He came out of the fucking game for that.
No. Yeah. Listen, let me see if I can find it here real quick since we're on this. Because this was hilarious. This was hilarious. Let me see if I can find it.
It's fucking nonsense. It's not hilarious. It's nonsense.
No, but this is hilarious. This is hilarious, Eddie. Hold on. Bear with me, everybody. Bear with me. It's going to be fun. And shout out to everybody here chilling with us, man. As again, we know there's a playoff game next playoffs as they are up 91
82, 18 seconds ago.
Yeah, with about 18 seconds in the third. And you have the NFL draft tonight, which I have no idea, nor do I care what the hell is going on. But let's listen to Edwin Diaz talk about, and this was on shout out to these guys, Foul Territory. Talk about Edwin Diaz and the shorter leg.
You give us a quick update, injury update. Alvarez is coming back. McNeil's coming back this weekend. And what about Diaz yesterday? First of all, I want to say that.
Well, this is where he also talks about how Alvy and McNeil will be in the starting lineup tomorrow, which I talked about earlier, opened my eyes. But listen to what he says about Diaz.
It should have been that should have been a step-off violation because he did step off like 8 times before he pointed at his hip.
Yeah.
So
we were
he
wondering.
okay?
Yeah, he's you know, I checked with him after the game. We were wondering in the dugout, like, what's going on in here? You know, he keeps stepping off until he obviously called us, and I was like, oh boy, something's going on here. And we got to the mound, and he's like, I'm cramping up, you know, my hip continues to, and that's why I continue to step off. So you know, I'm glad that the umpires got together because you got an injury player there. And, you know, he kept stepping off. So after the game, checked with him. He doesn't seem to be too concerned. The trainers don't feel like as of right now, it's low level of concern. We're off today. We'll see where we at tomorrow. As far as the other 2 guys, we were waiting for them to check in Citi Field today. And if everything goes as planned, the expectations are that they're going to be in the lineup tomorrow.
Okay.
So there was no concern as far as Edwin Diaz and the leg. I think he went on another one where he said he's going to check with the trainers and all of that tomorrow. See, well, he said it there too. And then he finished where, and we know now that's the case, Alvy and McNeil were going to check in at Citi Field, and then once they were cleared, and the first I saw that they were cleared was when I saw Mike Puma posted on X that Alvy was on his way to Washington, and the reason why he knew is because they were on the same plane.
Right.
So like, okay, Alvy was cleared, and now we know McNeil's been cleared, but Mendy said they'll be in the lineup tomorrow. Now he could, you know, that could just be misspeaking or whatever. But
I want to ask you, if Alvy starts, what's your expectations with him?
I don't know what to expect, bro. Honestly speaking, I really don't know what to expect.
I'm the same way with you. Like, I don't. Again, I always tell you this. I'll tell you to fans. I keep being truthful. I've seen this guy play one good half in his whole career. That's it. One good half. Other than that, I see a guy that strikes out too much. I see a guy that doesn't fit what this team's trying to do. This team takes pitches. They, pounce on bad pitches. They make that you pay if you throw them a bit. You throw a cookie to these guys, they're gonna make you pay. And it's even the guys at the end of the order. Even the guys have been struggling. So if I see Alvarez come up here and he looks like he's a fucking kid or he looks overmatched, guess what? Have a seat, because I got my guy Terrence right there that plays Major League Baseball and hits like a Major League catcher. So I'm giving you a short leash. You could go out there. I'll give you 2 days a week. Sure, no problem. That's the life of a catcher. But I'm not giving him any long leash whatsoever. He's deserved none of it. Because so far since he's been here, Alvarez, he's been all fucking hype. All hype. And no production. Except for one good half. So I got a short leash with him, bro. Short leash. Same goes for McNeil. McNeil will give a longer leash because he could do some other things. He could play in different areas. But Alvarez, for me, short leash. Short leash.
Yeah, I don't know. Say again?
That's a credit to Terrence with how good he's been playing.
No, listen, and I've been a big Torres guy. Again, I have all the confidence in Mendy that he's gonna do the right thing and he's gonna do what's fair for both of those guys, and what's fair and more importantly, what's best for the team. You know what I'm saying? But I think you're right to say Alvi has to go out there and earn a spot, and that's why one of my posts I said 60-40, and I'm giving 60 to Terrence, and that's until Alvi comes back and takes the job. Come back and take your job. If it's supposed to be your job. You're supposed to be the guy. Come back here and take the job. Come back and take the job. How does he do that? I don't know.
Well, let's see him do it.
You know what I'm saying? How does the playing time start up to begin with? We'll see. Should he get a start tomorrow right away? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you. I don't know how I feel about that. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if he does end up getting that start.
I feel like he hasn't earned it, bro. And to me, I'm not going off a hype or rankings for prospects. Fuck that shit. I'm trying to win and I'm trying to dominate. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm in the not fucking around club. And I'm not fucking around. And I hope the fans feel the same way as I do. There's no emotion in this shit. None.
Right. And this is what Luis Terrence has done. And I think when you look at the numbers, I think it's better than that. I would think he has better than 241 average. You know what I'm saying? It feels like he has a better than 241 average, but that's what it is. A 675 OPS, 6 doubles, 8 RBI, which the 8 RBI seems like they're all big. They're all clutch. You know what I'm saying?
He's had a ton of big hits.
Yeah. The 5 court stealing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm pretty sure he's got a better glove than Alvarez. I'm pretty sure he does.
I think so too.
I think he's better at throwing runners out. Absolutely. 1,000%.
Yes.
That goes without saying.
Yes. And Alvi does let a lot of balls get by him. We don't see that from Terrence. Alvi lets a lot of balls get by him because he's so concerned with, pitch framing all the time. So it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out. It really is. Let's see what we got here. Let's check in with the people once more, Eddie. Before we go on, see what we got here. What's up, Nelson? How you doing?
Man, Nelson always shows up.
What Beatty gonna do in minors? Got nothing to prove down there. It's not about what he has anything to prove, or it's a matter of fit. And I don't know if you guys saw it. I quickly posted before, as my guy Jeffrey said, you can't afford to lose a guy like Asokal. We don't have any other center fielders in the system really that are ready to come up and play. We just don't have it.
I haven't been overly impressed with him. If I'm going to keep it real with you, that's where I'm at.
What's there to be unimpressed with, though? First of all, he's played like 2 games.
Yeah, I know.
He had 5 or 6 at bat. He got 3 hits. He has a couple of runs scored. He plays good defense. Like, what are you looking for to be impressed by? He's a role player. He's
Yeah, yeah,
someone that's come up from the minors. Like, so, no,
right.
because I don't understand that sometimes. Joe and Clark does this too. He was all over Hayden Senger, like, oh, he's a zero. Like, really? Are you watching these games, or you just want to complain?
I think for
Like,
me, it's
everybody's not
more.
gonna be a star.
Yeah, no. I think for me, it's more like rep,
He's been better than Siri.
yeah,
Ahsoka, you haven't been impressed. He's been better than
that's true.
Siri.
That's true. I'll leave him alone. I'll leave him alone.
That's what I'm
I'm
saying. Like,
I'm nitpicking. I'm nitpicking.
what was there, like, you know what I'm saying, be unimpressed with? Like,
Yeah.
he's a
No,
good
I'm
piece
nitpicking.
to have, and it's worth not losing. That's all this is. It's
Yeah,
worth not
I'm
losing. You know, he doesn't have any options. So Beatty had an
No, I
option,
get the move, Heck. I get it.
and he has none. So that's why he's here and Beatty's not. Beatty can't play center field. As much as they talk about they're comfortable putting McNeil or Acuna out there, well, here's somebody that you definitely can put out there. And he's not hurting you.
No,
He's been competent.
He's okay.
Listen, if Ahsoka would have gone 0 for whatever the hell his at bats were, you know, we saw where he got picked off at first base because he did do that blunder. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then he might have got DFA'd, but he didn't do that. He hit, he scored a couple of runs, he played good defense. He earned himself a spot. He helped, kind of, in my opinion, push Beatty out a little bit
Yeah.
by
I
being
think,
confident.
bro,
Just
I
by
think
being confident.
it's an options thing when it comes to Zolka. So
Yeah, and a
it's
roster
an
fit,
options
an options thing, and a roster fit too.
Right,
You know,
right.
they need
Because
a center fielder.
if the
Siri's not
Mets
gonna
have
be
a
around
chance,
for a while, bro.
what's that?
Siri's not gonna be around for a while, so they need a center fielder, or at
Yeah,
least a backup center fielder.
a
Taylor
backup.
can't play every day, you know.
I'd be
So,
curious to see McNeil out there. I really would. I just want to see how he looks.
but you know, I think they only gave him that one game.
Yeah. So, and what does that tell you then?
So we'll see. I mean, that kid doesn't tell me anything, honestly. He looked good, and it's not like he looked bad. Maybe it could tell me like they're that confident that, you know what, one game is good enough, and we'll put you out there in a major league game. And it really doesn't tell me much. Really doesn't. My guy Joel, who's a big Beatty guy, says Beatty was just starting to turn the corner. Hopefully, he can go. Listen, if there's one thing that we can count on, is that
Yes.
he's gonna go kill it in AAA.
Yes, he will. That's without a doubt in my mind. But that's good for him though too. And you know what? They sent him down at a time where at least he's gonna have some confidence. You know what up, Lisa? Like at least he's got some confidence coming off a home run that he hit off of Zach Wheeler. That ball's still going up, by the way. That was a fucking bomb.
Nah, yeah, he crushed that.
Crushed it.
He crushed that. Let's see what else we got here. Hello, Lisa. How you doing, my friend?
Shout out to Lisa.
Carlos says this is probably gonna be my last comment tonight. This
Okay, well,
this move today to make room for McNeil could be looked back at the move that derailed the my goodness. That derailed the whole Mets season. I hope I'm wrong.
that derailed the Mets season.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? What are we doing?
I don't know.
Coming off a fucking sweep of the Phillies, and we're talking about derailing the Mets season.
Because we're sending Brett Beatty down for Jeff McNeil.
Talk
about
Carlos,
hatred.
well, I love you, brother, but you got to chill with the McNeil stuff. McNeil's a better hitter than Beatty. Got to go right by reputation alone. So, but we'll see. Look, I got a short leash with him too. He starts messing up, I'll bring Beatty up. I'm not scared of that at all. I don't think the Mets are either. Give Beatty his props, man. He struggled like hell, and then after that 40 at bat mark, he did his thing.
Jeffrey says he can go down to the minor leagues. Jeffrey always will find the positive in everything. So when
He
everybody
could.
says, what the hell is Beatty going to go do in the minors? Jeffrey says, well, he could go down there and improve his defense. Mainly, I guess, his second base defense. And even third base as well.
Third
Well, he's
base
always
too.
been a third baseman, but definitely improve his second base defense to help keep helping build that trade value that we're hoping he's able to build. see. It's funny, right? Because the team is so good, you almost can't find things to talk about. Um, but one thing, a couple of things that I do want to talk about, and a guy that I think we should highlight, which is easy, right? A couple of guys that I think we should highlight. Um, and I'm gonna start with something that we've mentioned a couple of times,
Terrence.
but
Lindor.
is our guy Francisco Lindor,
Yeah.
where I think is no brainer that Francisco Lindor is on his way to his first All Star appearance as a New York Met.
Thank
And
God.
this is what it needed to take, Eddie. This is what it needed to take right here. This
Yeah.
kind of start.
Yeah.
And because it's been a topic, I don't know if you've seen it. Shout out to Disha Thozar, who used to write for the Daily News, now writes
I
for
remember.
Fox Sports, I believe it is, who did a great article today about Lindor's hot start and the relationship with Eric Chavez and the conversation that Eric Chavez had with Francisco Lindor when he was brutally honest. And it's funny. It's funny because what people want to take from this is a comment that Eric Chavez made where he said, then he challenged me too. And, blah, 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 blah. We know he's the captain without being the captain. So that's what drives everybody crazy. All you people, you included. We gotta make Francisco Lindor the captain. Yes, 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 yes.
I didn't say that.
But okay, relax.
I pulled it up.
I go read the article, and what stood out to me is how much heat Eric Chavez catches.
Yeah.
But Eric Chavez is key into the start that Lindor is having right now because he challenged Francisco Lindor. And one quote that I remember without having to go back and read it or anything like that is he told him, "Yo, listen, good players are able to put the numbers up, and the numbers will be there at the end of the year.
Right.
The great players do it for 6 months.
The superstars.
The
But I always
superstars,
bring up
yeah,
superstars.
they do it for
It
six
said
months.
here, right? There's the star players, and then there's the superstars. The best of the best. The best of the best. Do it from April to October or to November, right? Those are the guys, those are the superstars. Day in and day out.
That's a like a behind that's like an inside joke kind of. My guy Quays who helps me out on Blunt Thoughts. He helps me bring all the stuff up and the
Okay.
comments and all that. The people miss my guy Quays. Quays is in the comments though. He's part of you guys today. He doesn't want to help me anymore. He quit. This guy's been traveling
We
the
gonna
world.
get-
I'm having fun. Quays is my guy. He's been having fun though. But yeah, man. So Chavez talked about how he told him like, "Oh, listen, this is what you got to do. You're good." And it's funny because another thing that people, and this was my guy CP, and he was probably joking because Eric Chavez told him, "You remind me of myself." Because Eric Chavez was like, "I had those times where I was really good, but then I had times where I was
Struggle.
just there. I was non-existent.
He was a really good player, Chavez.
Yeah, just going through the motions, just going 0 for 20, and he's like the greats, the superstars, how you want, whatever you want to call them, those guys that are the top of the top tiers, they don't go those 0 for 25, 0 for 30s. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It might be 0 for 12, 2 or 3 for like 17 or some crazy shit like that, but not that drastically bad. And Lindor gave him credit for that, for challenging him. And then in turn, Chavez talked about, because I think this is something that people ignore. Let's not forget that Chavez was made the bench coach for a year after being hitting coach.
Right.
So he talked about also in that article how now that when he was back as hitting coach last year, it took him a while to find his place, right? And Lindor went to him and said, "Yo, what's good? We need to hear you. Where you at?"
Right.
He said he went home and he didn't take it personal. He said, "Damn, he's right." But he was like, he was trying to not, I guess, step on Jeremy Barnes' shoes or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Not trying to overstep boundaries because he had become the hitting coach while he was out. So now, even though that they're like co-hitting coaches, or maybe you look at Chavez as the main hitting coach and Barnes the assistant, or at least that's how it used to be, he was still having a hard time finding his groove.
Yeah, because they had like what was it, 2 hitting coaches, right? I mean,
They
they
still
still
do.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, they still do. But Chavez was the hitting coach. Then he went to bench coach. He comes back to hitting coach. Barnes is there, who was the assistant before, but now has taken more of a prominent role. Barnes is the one that's trying to turn Brandon Nimmo into a power hitter. But people
Which I
agree on
don't like.
Eric Chavez. You understand what I'm saying? This is what I'm trying to get at. But anyways, the point is, shout out to Lindor, who should make his first fucking All Stars at Met this year. The other guy
He's
that I wanted to kind of highlight and go ahead.
fucking superstar, Lindor. Absolute superstar.
The
Absolute
other guy I
superstar.
kind of wanted to highlight and talk about real quick is my guy Pete Alonso, who shit I think could be right now in the very, very, very early MVP conversations. And if he's able to keep this up at any level, and can nobody tell me that Pete Alonso cannot win the MVP of the National League. Because that is the level that he is playing at right now.
When I
As you
do
see.
this, Hector, it means the best of the best, bro. That's where he is.
The best.
Best of the best. When I got that head over this, this long head of hair here, that's the best of the best right there, man. That is the upper echelon. That is with the judges. That's with the Otanis. That's with the fucking Tatis Juniors. That's with the Harpers. That's what a Pete Alonso is doing right now. He is the best of the best. And I hope it continues because I want to see it from start to finish. And everybody's going to have their struggles. But I just want to see it continue because, again, if you have 3 guys that are able to do this, there's not many teams. There's nobody yet that has teams that good. Nobody. Even the fucking Dodgers. Well, the Dodgers maybe. But outside of the Dodgers, no other teams have 3-4 guys that are like this good.
Right. No, and I think we have more, bro.
We do.
We're about to start seeing that deep lineup that we thought we were going to have. And again,
Vientos.
we've been doing all of this stuff without guys like Vientos producing, without guys like Brandon Nimmo producing, without guys like Francisco Alvarez and Jeff McNeil even being in the lineup, even as part-time players. Without Juan Soto really producing.
16 Ks, 19 walks, bad average. How many home runs he's got? What do you got? 4 or 5 home runs, something like that?
Yeah, I think it's like 4. I think it's 4.
It's gonna come up. I'm waiting, but right now you don't need it because you got Lindy and then you got Pete, and then you got even Alvarez is starting to take off a little bit. The guy's been getting better. You got guys like Starling Marte, who I always said people want to get rid of this guy. They always want to let's get rid of Marte. Marte is a professional hitter, and I say this I think I might have said this on the last show. The guy he's a professional hitter. Every time you get up at bat, when he comes up at bat, you're going to get a good at bat from him. For the most part, you're going to get a solid at bat. That's what I love about Marte. So I don't want to get rid of him. I like Marte a lot. I love what he does. He's accountable. He's a good player, man. He's a good player.
No, for sure. I was never really interested in getting rid of Marte.
A lot of fans wanted to.
Go ahead.
A lot of fans wanted to get rid of him.
I know. And some still do. It'll still come up.
Hector, hold me down for 2 minutes. 2 seconds. Well, 1 minute.
2 minutes, 2 seconds, 1 minute. Who the hell knows? Well, you go do whatever the hell you're gonna do. I wanted to listen to Juan Soto real quick, as he had some comments yesterday.
You're not doing it with the bat today to have 3 throws home, get 1 runner out, and get 2 guys to go back. I mean, how good does that feel to help this team with your defense out there?
It's always great. It's always great to have
some role, some part of the game wins. I'm trying my best, to come through with the bat. But whenever that doesn't come through, I got to do something else. We play defense, we run the bases right, and I think today I had the chance to help the team with my defense, and I think I feel great with that.
You're not doing.
So I wanted to bring this up because he talks about I'm trying my best to help the team with the bat. And as I listen to it there, I don't want to make too much of it. And is he pressing? Is he not pressing? Is he trying to do too much? Is that why he's struggling? If you want to call it struggling, all that good stuff. I don't know. Were you able to hear the comments from Juan Soto there?
I was listening. You're saying he's going to be able to hold it down. And look, man, Soto's going to come around, heck. He's going to come around. You're not worried about him. I'm not worried about him. We have our other guys producing. So that's the beautiful thing. And once these guys start, man, watch out. Watch out. We already have the best. We already have the best record in baseball. These other guys are starting to really hit it, man. We're a dangerous team. I'm a very critical person, man. I am a very critical person. And I just don't see it. I see a problem with Diaz. Probably our pitching's going to level out at some point, the starters. But once those other guys get going, we're going to be we have a lot to improve on. And we have a lot of guys that are going to come back to just what their averages are. And that's why I think we'll be able to keep this pace. You understand? I think we'll be able to keep the pace.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. No, I'm just looking at the comments here, and the Beatty McNeil conversation doesn't end. I think this is a relation because I think Carlos said Lindor plays his best with McNeil at second. I mean, with anybody but McNeil at second base. I mean, if Lindor's the player that we think that he is, then it doesn't matter who the hell is at second base,
Oh,
right?
come on. That's
And
ridiculous.
D-Rail says nobody what Lindor wants. He's a baseball player. Nobody cares about his opinion. His job is to play a game, not speak. That's a little harsh, but I can understand where D-Rail is coming from. Ramos says with McNeil in the everyday lineup, you can put money on it, Eddie. This Mets team is not better with McNeil in the everyday lineup.
Listen, man, but you got to give him a chance. You can't just throw him out the window because if he plays like he did in 2022 or even the last half of last year, if he does that, he's going to break again. He gets hits. He gets on base. We got a bunch of guys that could get on base. That's the name of the game. Get on base, score runs. Simple. I understand people aren't in love with McNeil. I get it. I'm one of them. I'm one of them. But you got to give him his due too. You got to. If he fucks up, that's on him. That's on him.
I guess because we're giving Mendoza props. He says Carlos Mendoza is the same manager that also keeps populating a continent of runners position left on base with batting Nemo fourth. So let's keep things in perspective here. As you know, Brandon Nemo is also on Carlos's hate list. Like, it's one thing to say guys are not doing this, guys need to be better at this. It's another to be in a campaign. No offense, Carlos, to be in a campaign against a player the way you are against Brandon Nimmo. And I'm not saying that because of what I'm seeing now. I had this thought today when I saw some of your posts on X about Brandon Nimmo. Yeah, Brandon Nimmo hasn't been good. Brandon Nimmo hasn't been good. He can be better. And I know he will be better. Just like I knew Peter Alonso was going to shove it up your behind. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait till Brandon Nimmo does that. But, bro, geez, man. Like, we get it. We get it, man.
Nimmo, we need Nimmo, man. We need Nimmo. If Nimmo's right, again, another guy that makes the lineup even deeper. You understand? We need these
and
guys.
To be fair, Carlos just says he should be batting sixth or maybe 10th. I don't know. He just doesn't want to hit him fourth. You know? Which I think you agree with. You don't think Nim was a power hitter either. That's okay. And listen, I'm not.
But I mean, I get he kind of needs to be where he's at.
That's what I say. Like, it's not a big deal. We just need him to produce, and I know he can be. Like, but there's people that and Carlos is not alone. There's a few other people that just Nimmo's, hit the lottery. Nimmo's stealing money from the Mets.
No.
Nimmo
Nemo makes
got
$20 million a year, and when he produces, he's good.
Exactly.
Listen, do I like the power stuff? No, I don't. I like when he walks and hits doubles. But if he could give me 20-something home runs, I'm going to take it. Give me 20-something home runs. Give me a 360 on base percentage and a 260, 270 average. I'm happy. What is this?
Jeffrey says Hector Eddie, all teams mix and match. Other than Soto, Lindor, Vientos, and possibly Nimmo, everyone else is going to be interchangeable. I agree with that.
Oh, I do too.
I agree with that. And I don't have a problem with it. I talked about it last year a lot too, and I talk about it a lot, often. Where I say, I remember back in '86, we had 2 center fielders, Mookie Wilson and Lenny Dykstra. We had 2 second basemen, Wally Bagman, Tim Tuffle. You know what I mean? Like, we had multiple guys that could possibly go and play every day. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's a matter, the manager has to be able to go in there, handle that, and make sure that everybody's comfortable and find playing time for everybody. And, it is what it is. But those are good problems to have.
It's like I said on the space, we got rich people problems, Hector. We got rich people problems. We do.
Yeah, listen, and I'm happy to see it, Jeffrey, because Danny Young catches a lot of heat. I'm happy to see it. I thought Danny Young pitched better than he gets credit for last year, and I think even this year he's done not terrible, not great. He's been okay.
He's been better,
and he was phenomenal yesterday.
Yeah, wow, exactly, man. Those are 2 again. He struck out 2 of the better hitters in baseball.
And guys, and I apologize. I know I'm a little bit late with the comments. Cindy says he was late on the challenge, but watching the replay, he was out. Go ahead, run on Soto's arm. And she's talking about the play at home. What else we got here?
That's a good play by Soto, by the way. Good read.
Anything on your mind that you want to get to, Eddie? As I may have one more thing that I kind of want to get to real quick before we wrap it up.
I got nothing else really, man. I got very little to complain about. Like I say that all the time.
A newcomer to the chat, new at 9 years. This team doesn't have proper 4-hole hitter, but to give up on Nimmo early is dumb.
I'm more worried about the closer than I am about the 4-hole hitter. That's what I'm worried most about as a closer.
Someone on the podcast said this, and I agree. Soto's start to his mid-career is a lot like Piazza's was. Soto will come around. I'm not worried about him. Yeah, listen, there's nothing to worry about. You get anxious, get maybe a little bit frustrated. Right, we get a little frustrated and all that good stuff, but we know that he's going to be great. I was having this conversation earlier with someone. Like, listen, you get frustrated. I want him to do better. I thought he was going to come off running. I'm the one that said he would never get booed here because he's always going to be good. I didn't think he was going to have an adjustment period. But the Knicks are going to pull this one off, baby.
Looks like it, yeah. 110, 105.
He's obviously going through that adjustment period. But Juan Soto will be fine. The other guy that I wanted to highlight real quick before we close out, we look ahead into what we got coming up in Washington and it's going to be a little long, but I wanted to share this because I thought it was great. And I love these things when Mark DeRosa does these on MLB Network. And he did one today on Kodai Senga and how that forkball goes to whatever the hell.
Oh, I saw that.
It's just unhittable, bro. And it's just good stuff.
It's the most unhittable pitch in MLB.
Yeah, let's watch that real quick. Maybe you got to pull it up first. Heck, here we go.
Yeah.
Quick, soak this in. Tyler McGill just punched out 10. He's got a 109 ERA. Clay Holmes, the transition. David Stearns, tip of the hat. Griffin Canning's got a 3.12. David Peterson's become a dude for them. But I want to focus on Senga. Kodai Senga has an unhittable pitch. So if we could get into him real quick and just highlight what he's meant to this rotation. They didn't have him last year, and he worked hard to get back for the postseason. He was never himself. But when that thing comes out, it's the most unhittable pitch in the game. So I want to take you through a couple ABs, and I'm going to let Brent Rooker, he was on Pitching Ninja. We get a split right there, Go Sport, top of the zone heater. I mean, it reminds me of Koji Uehara coming out of Boston Red Sox pen back in his heyday, almost telling you a split could come, and there was still nothing you could do with it. But I want Brent Rooker, Pitching Ninja does an amazing job. He does. He gets these guys on, showing pitch grips. He had Brent Rooker on talking about facing Kodai Senga. He does the breakdown for me. Take a listen to this.
It looks like a fastball for 53 feet, and then like 7 feet, it just turbo dives into the dirt. So it's like, yeah, it's easy to say don't swing at it, but then you're also going to be taking a lot of hittable fastballs if your plan is just never swinging it, because it looks, I mean, it's a fastball until it's not.
Everybody knew you're going to get a Go Sport with 2 strikes. So he started throwing that fastball, basically low fastball, that people were just taking it.
Freezing it. Yeah, freezing. Because, I mean, the way to take the pitch is basically going, all right, if the pitch starts here, I'm not swinging it, because I know it's going to start there, it's going to look hittable, and then it's just going to dive in the dirt. But then, so when that fastball comes out of the window that you told yourself, I'm not swinging in that window, and it just stays in the same plane, and it's strike 3, and you're like, all right, well, I can't do anything about that. Like, either giving him the take fastball, or you're going to be susceptible to the chase splitter. You can't really do both.
Unbelievable. Bring up the boards on Senga real quick. Sport ball stats are just through the roof. 22 for 193, has allowed 1 homer on it his entire career. Opponent batting average, $1.14. Slug, 145. He's got arguably the nastiest pitch in the game, and he seems to be right in leading them. Take a look at this. Lowest opponent slug versus single pitch type since the start of 2023. $145. He has been on fire. It's been the cumulative for the Mets starting rotation, but you need that trump card, and he has been exactly that for this team. They missed him dearly. Quick.
But yeah, I wanted to share that. You know what? Let's stay here and let's just look at his overall numbers as we have them here. As he's been phenomenal, Eddie. You know, we don't. A lot of people don't want to recognize him as an ace, and I'm not going to come out here and say he's the ace, but he's performing like a damn ace. And some people get bent out of shape because he has to have the 5 days in between to pitch out the 6th day. And if I'm not mistaken, we'll see. I haven't really looked, but I know I got the matchups here somewhere. I believe he gets a series started on tomorrow night out there in Washington. But he's been great. And everything was phenomenal in that clip. But I like it when guys are pitchers, Eddie. I like it when guys are pitchers. And when you hear Brent Rooker talks as a hitter, I also understand when he's talking about, with certain pitchers, whatever, or what, just in hitting, period. You say, if I see the ball at this plane, I'm not swinging because I know it's going to break out.
Correct.
But now he incorporates that low fastball coming at the same plane, bro.
Yeah.
So if you have that in your mind, like, okay, that's the forkball is going to drop. I'm going to look at it. And he's surprising you with that fastball right at the knees, 2 strikes. You're finished. But that's pitching. That's not just throwing. That's not just relying on that forkball. That's adjusting to what hitters are doing. Shout out to Kodai Senga, man. Shout out to Kodai Senga.
Yeah. Look, man, again, I was a guy that said he's not an ace. But man, I'm hoping maybe he could prove me wrong. He's got an unhittable pitch. The main thing with him is we got to keep him healthy. You got to treat him with kid gloves, which I don't necessarily like, but you got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? You got to do what you got to do.
Well, Cindy said shove it.
What's that?
I'm kidding because I saw this coming by Cindy as you're saying that, and she says, I don't care how many days rest he needs, as long as he stays healthy, which is what you're saying.
Exactly.
He can be like he did in 23.
You got to treat him a certain way, so be it. It is what it is. Give him his rest. Would I like to see him pitch every 5 days? Of course. But, he's a guy that needs to be treated this way, but that's how you're going to maximize your return on him. So good.
Yep. Well, Eddie, now we move ahead. We move ahead to a team that's, young.
Yeah.
I think I saw somebody saying here, Scrappy. Shout out to them. Forgot who said
They
that.
are. They're not
You know,
the pushovers of a couple of years ago.
right. And it's a division matchup, which they're always going to want to play good against us no matter what, and vice versa. But at the same time, we are the New York mother effing Mets. The first place New York Mets. Go out there and keep handling business. But that's what we have. So we go to Washington this weekend and we look at the matchups here
There we
as
go.
it gets started. It's a 4-game set also. I keep forgetting.
So we got a Monday. So, okay.
Yeah, it's a wraparound series. It goes into
Oh, shit.
Monday. And Friday it is my guy Kodai Senga going out there with his 3-1 record and an 0.79 ERA going against, I forget this guy's first name, Irvin, who's been good against us and who I think we've also hit maybe late. But I remember last year, I think he like fucking no hit us to like the 7th inning or something like that. I know he pitched a very good game against us. I know he pitched very good against us. He's so far this year 2-0 with a 3.68 ERA. On Saturday, we have a 4-5 start, mid-afternoon start.
A lot of day games.
Yeah.
A lot of day games. Okay.
So yeah, Saturday 4:05, Sunday 1:35, Monday 4:05, and that's your Washington series.
Okay. All right.
You get Holmes versus Lord, McGill versus Parker.
I mean, we got a bunch of our good guys going. So again, let's get 3 or 4 here.
All our guys are good, Eddie. So it doesn't matter who the hell we got going.
But you
and
said
the last game of the
Sunday,
series on Monday, we got old friend Trevor Williams going against us. So that should be fun.
Oh yeah, Trevor Williams. Yeah, I do.
Just noticed that. But yeah, and that's that. I mean, listen. Now all we got to do, ladies and gentlemen, and you guys know, I'm not particularly a fan of the wave, but I like riding the wave that we're riding right now, especially at home where we're 12-1. So yeah, I'll ride the City Field wave as long as it's a winning wave. We talk about seasons being roller coasters and going up and down. Well, to hell with a roller coaster this year. Let's ride this wave we're on.
I'm down.
How about that?
I'm down. I'm down. Let's ride the wave, baby. Let's do it. Let's do it. Ride the wave. Let's get 3 out of 4 from these guys, and we'll keep it moving. I don't know who we got after Washington. I don't even know yet.
We come back home for 3 with Arizona, and then we go back on the road. Another thing to be pay attention to is we now play 12 games in a row.
Right.
So again, we're going to need a 6th starter. Is Blackburn going to be ready this time? I don't think so. Blackburn, we haven't heard him about not even doing a rehab start. So would it be Justin Hageman again? Will it be someone else? Who the hell knows? But that's something to pay attention to because we will have to see a 6th starter. Now, it won't happen for a while because we had the day off yesterday. And we know they're still throwing Canning and Peterson where they have to. They'll throw them every 5 days. But Holmes, Senga, try to give him the 6th day. Even McGill could pitch every 5 days.
Yeah.
But the less McGill you get, the better.
Listen, man, if McGill gets it right,
No, he's been phenomenal. He's been phenomenal. But let's keep him the way he is.
He's got potential, that guy. I like him. He just never is consistent. That's a problem I have with him.
Yep. Cindy says the key to the Washington series is getting into their bullpen. They have the worst bullpen in MLB. There you go. And we've been doing a good job of that. If anything, that's one thing we've been doing, which is a trait that I love. I don't mind that we're a team that wins games late. Fuck that. I'll take that any day. I love the feeling that we're always in the game.
Right.
I love the feeling that we're always in the game.
I like to get a big lead and then just coast the rest of the game.
Of course.
That's the best feeling.
But
you're right. I never feel like we're out of the game.
Yeah, if you don't have that big lead, it's good to feel like, yo, we're always in the game.
Yeah.
And shout out to the ladies as the ladies closes out here, as all the fellas either fell asleep or got caught up in this Nick game. That shit I thought was over with like 38 seconds or whatever the hell was left, and it's still not far from over.
What happened? They're showing some backcourt thing here. I don't know what the hell.
It's 117, 116 with I think it's 0.5 seconds left. So I guess it's over now.
What did they hit a fucking and they hit a 3?
Yeah, they just hit an outrageous 3.
You're
or
ahead
2 actually. By a few. But yeah, so the Knicks hold on to a 1 point lead. But that's your Mets talk on filter for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Shout
That's
out to
it.
you guys. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you.
Thank you.
We
Thank you.
appreciate you. As my guy Ant says, I ain't sleeping, mofo. What do you mean all the guys are sleeping or went to the Knick game? So the mediocre pitchers pitch every 5 days and the good pitchers pitch every 6 days. Makes no sense. And I love you, but like I've told you through text, you got to get over it, brother. We're the old farts. It is what it is. All we want to do is win. Whatever it takes to win. If it takes the
Exactly.
mediocre pitchers pitching every 6 days, then that's what it takes. You won a World Series, right? I want you to come from Puerto Rico to go to join me at the parade down the Canyon of Heroes. I
There
want
we
Cindy to come from Vermont to join me at the parade at the Canyon of Heroes. I want Eddie to come from Orlando, wherever the hell Eddie is in the campus of fucking Florida, as I'm fucking showing my accent in all kinds of ways, to come up and join me in the parade of the Canyon of Heroes, bro. That's all I freaking care about. So whatever it takes to win ball games, every 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, it is what it is, brother. It is what it is. I love you, and enjoy yourself out there in Washington, man. I wish I could join you. I wanted to do that. I know you are. I know you are. I'm having fun, bro. But for my guy Eddie, I'm your boy Hector. You guys already know what it is. This is Mess Talk Unfiltered. Everybody enjoy the rest of your evening. And as always, LFGM, baby. Peace.
Let's fucking go Mets.